Financial struggles are a part of everyday life. Families can have it come up because of a job loss, a death in the family, or just simply being overburdened. And when this happens, it's incredibly stressful. People feel helpless, and very seldom is the experience a positive one for them. And so our goal is to work on strengthening those relationships and how the people are treated and making that experience a more positive one for them. I'm now going to play a short video that gives you an overview of the Cement solution and how it works and how it can help your company.
Cement, helping enterprise companies engage and treat their past due customers. Today, bill payment, receivables, and debt collection are costly and inefficient. This is a problem for both companies and their customers. For companies, it means spending more money collecting money and the loss of both revenue and customers. For their customers, it means worrying about money, losing access to vital services, embarrassment, and sometimes worse. Most companies only have a one-size-fits-all solution for receivables and debt recovery. Customers are all treated the same, and they are left unheard. When a customer can't pay their bill, they are called, sent emails, or letters asking for payment. Interest and late payment charges are added, and if they still can't pay, their account is suspended or even canceled. Not only does that customer lose access to that vital service, they have to deal with collectors and risk negatively impacting their credit rating. This is where Cement comes in. We make smarter and more human customer engagement possible. When identified as at risk or past due, we work with our clients to understand each of their customers' unique situations. In one case, we might start by sending them an email. If that email goes unopened, we might try SMS. If that customer says they can't pay until Friday, we won't reach out again until Friday, when hopefully they can pay their bill. Cement makes it possible to better understand customers by giving them the opportunity to be heard through dynamic workflows based on their unique interactions. With behavioral science, analytics, and experimentation, we learn what works and what doesn't for each unique customer and customize engagement to optimize results. Better yet, our process is iterative and uses machine learning to get smarter over time. In fact, Cement recoveries far exceed legacy benchmarks, with 10 to 50% improvements over existing recovery processes, all while reducing costs. It really works. One of our clients says, Cement has materially reduced collections-related churn of our customers. With Cement, companies are happy and their customers are engaged proactively and positively, making a real difference in their lives and making them happy too.
So why are we here? We have a proven track record of dealing with 90% market share of telecoms in Canada. And in every one of those engagements, we have delivered in year between 4 and 15x ROI on our deployments. We're engaged with 2 of Canada's largest banks to expand out into the financial services space, and we are projecting similar improvements and results. We're here today because we're seeking partners who share our vision on improving the customer experience and engagement as it relates to collections. We have a deep bench of experience on the team. Our CEO, this is his 4th startup. He's had exits on the prior 3. Shannon's got deep experience in data analytics and customer engagement. Dean's got 20 years of experience in software in the Valley and in Canada. And then we've got great experience with our revenue area. Our chief officer of services who's done large-scale deployments, and myself with deep experience in the collections space. We're also blessed to have very powerful and supportive partners on the venture side. And the company was launched in late 2016, and we have raised over $20 million so far. So thank you very much. We'd be happy to talk to you about how Cement can help your company and transform the treatment and engagement of customers.
Thanks, Paul. Up next, we have Ayal from Anjuna. Warm welcome.
Hey, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ayal, and I'm the CEO of Anjuna. Anjuna protects applications in the public cloud. We provide the security required to move any application into any environment. Today, only 30% of workloads are in the public cloud. Companies like VMware and Docker have enabled this by building solutions that protect the host machine from the application. But the actual security concern, preventing companies from moving sensitive applications like banking applications or any application containing private information, that concern is around protecting the application itself from the host machine. Let me give you an example. In the JP Morgan hack, in which 83 million accounts have been compromised, an attacker got access to the host machine and through that to the application. Anjuna would have prevented that breach. Our solution wraps the application in order to protect it and doesn't require any changes to the application, which means it fits extremely nicely into the CI/CD process. We completely isolate the application from anything happening on the infrastructure, even if someone has root or physical access to the host machine. This enables the security to become an enabler rather than a blocker, and to allow the applications teams to adopt new environments to deploy their applications on, or new deployment methods like containers or serverless. We currently have pilots with design partners, mostly in the financial services and the tech industries. We're looking for additional design partners. Please reach out to me after this if you're interested in joining us. We'd love to work with you. A little bit about the team. So I've been in the enterprise security space for the last 20 years. I manage the OpenDNS umbrella product management team, leading it to 80 million in ARR. My co-founder Jan has a PhD from Stanford, where he was working with Professor Dan Bonnet on trusted execution environments. We're backed by some top investors, including Y Combinator, Playground, Founder Collective, and Data Collective. So to summarize, we're Anjuna. We protect applications in the public cloud, and we allow organizations to adopt new environments by providing the security required to isolate the application from anything on the infrastructure. We've built a team of top industry experts, and we're looking for additional design partners to join us. Thank you.
Thank you. Up next, we have Marsha from Elevate Security, so please welcome her to the stage.
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here. My name is Marsha Sadova, and I'm one of the co-founders of a company called Elevate Security. And what we do at Elevate is take a whole new approach to the way we think about human behaviors as they relate to security in enterprises. So, as a quick show of hands, how many of you have ever worked in an organization that has had to go through boring, compliance-oriented security training? Yeah. And how many of you, keep your hands up, just skip to the end and answer those quiz questions as fast as you could, right? Yeah, most of us. But that doesn't actually do much in defending against the sophisticated cyber attacks that we see on our landscape today. So there's a huge gap left in the market. And that is truly what we are trying to address at Elevate Security. Because organizations protect with sophisticated technology, some of which you've heard about today, super cool processes, but what about the human element? So at Elevate Security, we have a two-part approach to changing the way our employees become their first line of defense for your organizations. On one side, we have the measurement of your security culture with the opportunity to get organizational insights and measurement. And then we have a suite of behavioral science apps that actually influence your employees' behavior. Let's go into those a little bit more deeply. So one of our core products is a platform called Elevate Vision that ingests existing data sets in your network from malware, password adoption management, as well as phishing, reporting rates, and so on, and maps it across your organization so you can see the strengths and weaknesses in different departments. This gives you, as a security team, the opportunity to see where you need to be focusing most of your energy at, and who are already your top performers to supply your next batch of security champions. From there, we create a very customized and personalized experience for every single one of your employees. This security scorecard shows up in the inbox of your employees on a quarterly basis and maps their performance to the team, to the department, and to the best-in-class performer, giving your employees the motivation they need to care about security. Because as much as I would really love this, Not everyone's going to love security as much as I do, but they might care about things like not being last, maybe being first, maintaining their streak of reporting the most phishing attacks, all the things that make us all human. And this is exactly what we're leveraging at Elevate Security to try to improve your employees' behaviors from just a standard have to actually want to do security. In fact, we ran a 10,000 person deployment of this with Autodesk at the beginning of this year and found that as we rolled this out, 60% of the employees opened up and reviewed this email, notably higher than your standard security communication. On the qualitative side, there was a huge uptick in password manager installation, 26% in quantitative, 26% in manager installation in 24 hours, 170% reporting increase between equally difficult phishing attacks, decrease in phishing click-through rates, and an abnormally high percentage of people who really enjoyed receiving it. What's also worth noting is that we only assign training when people need it. If people are above a specific score, they don't get the training because they already mastered it. And with that, we've saved close to 1,000 hours of training time for Autodesk. Our final product in our suite is a group-based game that lets your employees really think about what it's like to experience themselves from a hacker. So it really helps focusing on shifting mindset and influencing the culture, the foundation of your organization. So a little bit about us. Here are some of our select customers across industries. And as a company, we've been around for 2 years. I've raised our Series A in $8 million in January of this year. And we come from a background of building and running this at Salesforce. Both my co-founder and I were security executives at Salesforce. So we've been doing this for quite a few years now. Would love to stay in touch. We'll be here for the afternoon if you'd like to continue the conversation. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Up next, we have another cybersecurity company. So please, warm welcome to Yair from Saiga.
Hi, everybody. I'm Yair. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Saiga. Just a little background about where I come from. So I was a senior executive at Visa. At Visa, I was helping them launch their innovation hub out in Tel Aviv. And I was sitting at my desk there saying, I got to get out of the corporate world. Got to move over to, as an entrepreneur at birth, I got to get out of here. And I was thinking, what am I going to work on? So I was thinking, how do I take drones, blockchain, AI, machine learning, and create a solution that can pretty much save the world? And couldn't figure it out. So moved on to the next idea, which was something along the lines of, I saw 300 companies in the span of 1 year at Visa in cybersecurity. And it was very noticeable that many of the solutions were in the, what I call finding the bad guys in the building or figuring out how they got in. But when you looked at the preventative space, specifically the risk management space, this picture kind of describes the story there. Very manual spreadsheets, people trying to solve a very big problem, which is risk management. How do you create a clear picture of risk posture and compliance in cyber when almost every day that threat is changing? Saiga created a platform that is a SaaS-based platform that helps, first of all, collect information, analyze it, and then create the remediation tasks automatically. All that with a very visual dashboard that doesn't just take a snapshot of what's going on in your organization, it actually looks outside the organization and integrates things like threat intelligence, vulnerabilities, and new regulations. My journey as I got out there, one of the things I saw when I was at Visa was that many of the companies that I was coming across were building products, but not really speaking to the customers who need to buy at the end. So I made it my life's mission to go out and speak to as many CISOs as possible. And it's a pretty challenging thing when you don't know so many CISOs at the beginning, but I managed to meet over 100 CISOs in the US over the last year and a half. And then what became apparent to me is two things. First of all, the importance of both compliance and risk posture under one dashboard. And the second part was the involvement of the professional services space. So the big four accounting firms, consulting firms, whatever it may be, in this risk assessment process. And I found that there were basically 4 different buckets of information and pain points in this life cycle of risk management. The first one was data collection. And data collection is 3 different sources of data, which I'll talk about shortly, but that part is a very manual, time-consuming, and expensive process that's mainly done by people today. Emails, phone calls, literally people making phone calls to people trying to figure out where the information and try to collect it. The second part is analysis. Companies are using often analysts or third parties to do this analysis, but that analysis is very subjective, very manual. It's missing the real-time gaps of threat intelligence and outside information, while it's also very hard to quantify that without using proper risk frameworks, which are usually too complex for organizations just to adopt, things like the NIST 853 for those who are familiar. The third piece here, visualization remediation, is actually the piece that's probably what's most missing in the market. So how do you take all that information, whether it's manual or automatic, which we help automate, but then what do you do with it, right? So on the one hand, we have the GRC platforms over here, very heavy, slow, and expensive solutions that only really help collect the information. On the other end of the market, we have the automated tools, the security scorecards, the bit sites of the world. But those tools give you this magic button that you click and get a risk score. But everybody knows that's only a small piece. While it might be an important piece, it's only a small piece of your risk posture. In the middle, there's that remediation piece that's missing. What do I do with all this information? And how do I turn it into an actionable output? And how do I visualize that so A, I can communicate that internally, not just to my staff, but also upwards to the board, to the C-suite, to upper management. And the last piece is the ongoing management. We found a lot of different challenges in each one of these buckets, and the ongoing management part, as we learned how the process runs, simply every year, new risk assessment from scratch. No way to build knowledge over time, no way to improve and to benchmark. Our mission and vision, better security governance through awareness, insight, and timely action, and we do that by empowering organizations to understand their risks and how best to manage them. Gartner talks about the 3 trends in cybersecurity that are leading today: visibility, compliance, and cloud solution, which all 3 of those fit right in to the core of what we've built. We've built a digital platform here, a dashboard that helps you and your organization quantify that risk and manage it on an ongoing basis in a much more effective way. The 3 sources of data that feed it are automated collection off your network, questionnaires and surveys, and those external feeds of threat intelligence and vulnerabilities. Skip to the end here. The team is out of the Israeli military. Besides myself, the co-founder, Eli Ben Meir, was a former general, head of military intelligence in Israel. Gal Shmueli led one of the 2 largest cyber units in the Israeli military, 81. Yehuda Raz, 8200, 16-year veteran. And Goldie Spector, who leads our business operations. And we have some great advisors from Blackstone, PwC, and Raytheon. To summarize, our value proposition is automation and visualization of that risk, prioritize remediation, and personalized insight scoring. And we do that in order to make sure we save you time, money, and most importantly, that we keep your organization off of tomorrow's headlines. We're here today. We're looking for partners, customers. Please feel free to see me. And my email is over here, so feel free to email me. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Up next, please give a warm welcome to the stage, Pat from Dix.
Hey, my name is Pat McLaughlin, co-founder and CEO at Diggs. Diggs is an educational savings app for first-time homebuyers. We help people on that journey, saving for the biggest purchase of their life, and empower them to make the best financial decision when it comes to choosing a mortgage. As I said, we're a savings app for first-time homebuyers. We do this by allowing people to save for a home in an FDIC-insured account, and while they're saving, we add clarity to the home buying process. Our most unique feature, though, is that we contribute additional funds on top of a user's account if they're proactively saving. These additional funds can be used at a network of different lenders inside of our network when they're ready to buy a home. But the savings app for the consumer is just half of what we do, because on the back end, we also have a tool for lenders and agents, because the reality is everyone who saves in our app is eventually going to get a mortgage. And on that note, the mortgage lead space really hasn't changed much. Everyone's really focusing on those final moments leading up to the transaction and not paying attention to what it actually takes to get there. And the way that these leads are generated is just an online form that takes about 60 seconds to fill out and then gets pushed out to a number of different lenders. So it's really no surprise that these leads are not converting. Lenders are willing to spend about $1,500 on a cost per funded loan. And the leads I mentioned before are closing at about 5%. So aside from the obvious wasted money, they're also wasting time working with people that are not qualified to begin with. But with Diggs, we allow them to have a tool that focuses really early in the funnel. It gives them a lot more time to collect valuable information about them. We're creating loyal, educated borrowers with proven savings. And like I said, this allows us a lot more time to collect information about them, which will increase their conversion rates. Now, the leads are great and all, but really we have this opportunity to keep a brand top of mind throughout the time that someone's saving for a home. This is a long-term commitment. So we have two products for lenders. One is for the bank lender, and the other is for the non-bank lender. So starting with the non-bank lender, the thing for them is they currently don't have a place for their clients to save. They don't have a depository. But now with Diggs, they have a place that they can actually tell their clients to start saving for a home. And this is done through a unique referral link. So lenders and agents can work together to distribute a link and have a co-branded version of the app. And it keeps that loan officer top of mind throughout the savings journey. For the bank lender, we have a similar product, but rather than giving them a new place to save, it's a way to engage with existing customers. And rather than doing it based off of a unique link, this is based on the funding source. So it's really a way to keep the bank's brand top of mind throughout the savings journey and make sure that they're not losing their customers to other lenders. As for our current progress, we're fully integrated with our banking partner, giving our users FDIC-insured accounts. We just launched a couple months ago and have over 2,000 users and growing daily, and establishing new partnerships across the real estate, mortgage, and lending, and even real estate agents. So we're also raising our first round of funding. So if you're interested in what we're doing, come find me upstairs. Our goal is to help millions of people transition from renting into buying, and using Diggs as the tool that empowers them to unlock homeownership. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you so much. Up next, let's welcome Archie from Cagney.
Hi, I'm Archie. I'm the CEO, founder of Cagney. We are a super app, and we are excited to launch by Q3 this year. So Cagney is a digital banking platform that Cagney is a digital banking platform with integrated commerce that provides products and services based on user behavior and data. We bring commerce, banking, and lifestyle onto a single application. The user will be able to get a quick bank account with multiple currencies. He would be able to have integrated personal financial tool and payment services. So by 2020, 83 million plus millennials spent about $1.4 trillion buying products and services. Generation Z will account over 40% of consumer spend by 2020 and is expected to double each year onwards. So in the financial ecosystem, most banks and fintechs innovate on the financial services and product. They use the data and start providing financial services and products for the user base. Cagney innovates more on the lifestyle and the commerce side by capturing the data sets of the user from KYC and cross-reading it to all their digital profile. So the product consists of three components. One is a social and commerce feed, a banking and personal financial tool, and lifestyle micro apps. The basic banking and personal financial tools allows user to enable basic banking activities like a checking account, personal financial tools, payments, check capture, etc. What's really innovated here is the lifestyle micro apps where you would be able to book your hotels, book your flight tickets, etc. on a single application. The social and commerce feed is much more customized to the user based on the data and user behavior. So to do that, to provide hyper-personalized services to a user base, we capture 4 different data sets. That includes demographic, geographic, behavioral, and psychographic data sets. We cross-relate all these data sets to understand the digital behavior of their spend pattern and provide products and services in a lot more efficient manner. So the kind of data that we capture are in 3 levels. Level 1 is segmentation between age, gender, spend potential, and geolocation. Then we get into high curation level where we capture the professional, hobby, sports, likes, dislikes, and the behavior in social networks. And the 3rd level is a data ownership. Cagney allows user to own and control and benefit from their own data in buying products and services. So the user's data is connected through to a merchant portal where the products and services from those brands are connected directly to the user base. eliminating the wastage of middlemen, where the marketing spend goes into ad platforms like Facebook and Google, and re-incentivize back to the user in a lot more easier format. So Cagney's team has very significant experience in banking, payments, and scaling consumer products into the mass market. We are backed by well-known investors, and we are closing our seed extension round. If this is of any interest, I look forward to catching up with you. Just to quickly summarize, Cagney is a digital banking platform with integrated commerce that curates products and services based on user behavior and data. Thank you.
Thank you, Archie. Up next, please give a warm welcome to Adam from Scythe.
Hello, everyone. My name is Adam from Scythe. And Scythe is a continuous red team automation platform. And we say it's defense validation through offensive campaigns. That's kind of some fuzzy language, so let's talk a little bit more about what that is. We say you should be able to improve your defenses by simulating the most advanced offensive campaigns. And again, that's a little obscure as to what we're talking about. To think of it more clearly, we allow you to create your own synthetic malware, and you can do that through a web interface. And we'll talk a little bit about why that's important. A bit about us, though. In 2016, a Fortune 50 retailer approached us after they'd been compromised, and they'd given their security team a blank check. The board had said, never let this happen again. So they went through and they did a market evaluation of the kinds of products they would need to shore up their defenses. And ultimately, they couldn't find what they were looking for, so they went to our sister company and said, well, can you all build this for us? The answer was yes, we built it, and we got to keep the intellectual property for it. And so after somebody had already evaluated this is what the industry needed, we went through and created exactly that. So what's the problem? How do you assess the performance and resilience of a security program against advanced cyber threats? That's generally what we all have run into. That's the reason for all the cybersecurity spaces that you've all been hearing about all day. Well, our solution, if we move forward, is to create synthetic malware, like I mentioned just a few moments ago. And to put a more fine point on it, it's creating this flow. So the idea is you should be able to create an offensive campaign, and this is that custom adversary that can be as benign or as hostile as you'd like. It doesn't matter what your technical skill set is. You should be able to create that kind of offensive campaign. Now, once you've done that, regardless of whether you're testing your own defenses or you're a penetration tester or a red teamer, you can now deploy implants. And when I say implants, I mean something very specific. This is not an agent. This is not something that needs to be on a golden master box, on a dev environment or a controlled environment. This is something that can be used as a real piece of malware would be. This is the kind of thing that can be injected into an email or deployed on a production endpoint. Because again, you need to validate not just that your perfect world scenarios will work, but that your actual network and monitors are monitoring the way they should be. So once this has been deployed on an endpoint, you can get real data gathering across your entire enterprise. And this aligns with all the things you would expect. You get one-click executive reports. You have the ability to generate reports that align to the MITRE ATT&CK framework, all the things, again, you would expect. But then we get to this kind of red team, blue team, purple team engagement, where in the traditional exercise, the red team performs some offense, hands off a report to the defenders and says, okay, well, now you go ahead and remediate these problems. We'll be back when you're ready for us to test it again. But with Scythe, because of our ease of use, now the red team can not only hand off the report, but also the Scythe platform itself, allowing the blue team and the network defenders, regardless of their skill set when it comes to cyber offense, they can deploy these engagements against themselves. So they can remediate, test in a cycle. And they can do that regardless of their technical skill set, because those things have been predefined. So a little bit about the industry. Obviously, we've got breach and attack simulation that tends to be controls validation, unit testing, so on, and agent-based. Then we've got the middle tier, the really offensive things like Metasploit and Cobalt Strike. But Scythe fits in between these things. It's kind of the best of both worlds because it provides you all the capabilities you would expect, but also the ease of use, so it can be used by a wide range of folks. Just real quick, we're used by Black Hills Information Security, and John Strand says we've cut their MITRE ATT&CK testing down from days to just moments. I'm Adam Mashinchi, VP of Product at Scythe, and there's my email. Come say hi. Thanks.
Thank you so much. Up next, please welcome to the stage Kevin from Tiger.
Thank you. Hello. Hi, I'm Kevin from Tiger, and at Tiger, we believe in intelligent automation for tomorrow's economy. Now, what if I told you that today's businesses aren't really being disrupted by startups and new ideas only, but we're also being disrupted by the changing expectations and the rising expectations of our customers? So they're all asking these kinds of questions. Why can't my loans be approved in minutes? Why can't my company search engines be more precise? And why can't my hotel chatbots be a lot more personal? Where does Tiger come in here? If you needed a mortgage loan in Mexico, you would need to go through 6 different documents and 8 different work days, or 8 work days just to get this approved. And the typical question is, why does this take so long? If you've got a legal case that you need built in Singapore, even if it's a simple real estate transaction case, you would have to go through 12 documents and pay a lawyer for 5 of his work hours just to go through this. And that's just a question that the lawyers are asking themselves. Why are they still in office? And if you needed the best hotel reserved through a chatbot in Spain, right, you would have to go through 15 different conversations, maybe not even get a single recommendation, and then after that still have to ask, I need to talk to a human. So the main problem that we're seeing nowadays is that there's just too much data, too much unstructured information, and not quite enough knowledge that is being gleaned out of this information. And what we're hearing our customers tell us is that this is just simply not good enough. Our customers and clients are telling us that today's automation solutions are just not fast, not accurate enough, are not smart enough for their unstructured information needs. We know for a fact that unstructured information and data is going to grow exponentially over the next few years. By 2020, we'll have generated 50 times the amount of information, right? And the cost of dealing with all this information and structured data is going to rise exponentially as well. What we've done is we've taken a quantum leap to make all this information understanding so much better, breaking away from the traditional rule-based or machine learning models to come up with a hybrid approach that we pioneered. That's called knowledge process optimization. Knowledge process optimization helps our organizations better in 3 ways. We have an information extraction tool that's able to extract information from any kind of document, right, be it structured all the way to unstructured, and guaranteeing the accuracy rates for these information extraction as well. We have a semantic search engine that allows for systems to for organizations to search through the information through a very, very precise search interface, as well as a very user-friendly search interface as well. And we have a very advanced chatbot that allows for customers to speak to their organizations in the way that they want to, in a very human-like manner as well. We live and die by our accuracy rates, and we live and die by our KPIs, right? So we guarantee our accuracy rates, our deflection rates by service level agreements as well, right? We make sure that we always reach our accuracy rates of 80% and above for an information extraction tool, and with our search engine and our chatbot as well. And the best thing about all these solutions is that they come together. So you could have a chatbot that accepts documents from a user and automatically approves the loan within minutes, right? And that's through the information extraction tool as well. We've worked together with some of the most mission-critical organizations in the world, and we've guaranteed accuracy rates for them as well. And we are very excited to work with other companies that are also radically transforming their operations through financial services, through the government, and through any industry, because we are fairly industry agnostic as well. So at the end of the day, we really look forward to working with like-minded partners and brands. And if you would like a demo of any of our solutions, please come and approach me upstairs at the demo area as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the presentation, Kevin. Right now, we will take a 5-minute break, but please don't go any far away as we will continue presentations at around 1:30. Thank you. Hey everyone, please take your seats as we will start shortly the last session of our presentations. Thank you. Hello everyone, we're ready to kick off our last portion of our Spring Summit. So I would like to invite to the stage Yuval from Mezu as the first presenter.
Hi there. I'm Yuval Brisker, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of Mezu. I'm a serial entrepreneur. This is my third company. My previous company I sold to Oracle about 4 years ago, and then I embarked on a whole new career in payments. Privacy. It's a big topic. Who here feels like they have control of privacy? Who here feels that that privacy is actually a big concern for them? In fact, privacy in our minds is the issue of our time. If we look at all the different things that have been happening to us over the past few years, we can pretty much boil it down to privacy, to issues of privacy and technology, and the violation of privacy and technology. But what about privacy in payments? Privacy in payments. How many people feel that their privacy is protected when they're using Venmo, for example? Does anybody think that their privacy is protected when they're using Venmo? I guess not, because nobody's raising their hand. Well, we think that the world of payments is still has huge opportunity for privacy. In fact, there is right now no privacy app, no app in the world of payments that actually protects your privacy, that really gives you both the portability, the versatility, and the protection that your name, that your transaction information, that your location, that your email address, that your phone number, that all the things that you hold dear, that they won't actually be protected. So every time you make a payment using Venmo or cash, your private information is out there. For that, we have Mezu. Mezu is here to actually bring privacy to payments. It's the first app on the market that actually brings privacy. In fact, the closest thing to privacy in payments, of course, is cash. And there's still 30% of all transactions in the world are still done in cash. That's over $2.3 trillion of payments. But there's actually nothing out there as yet to completely replace cash. So we thought, how about bringing together the two concepts, digital payments and cash, and really provide the first app that replicates the experience of cash in payments and really allows people to completely eliminate the need for cash and use only payments and do so, a digital payment app, and do so in a completely private way. So Mezu is the first payment app that allows you to give and get money without having to share any of your personal information. Meaning you can pay anyone, both in person and send and request money, but have your privacy protected. And we do that via patent-pending technology that we invented, and that really allows you to do that, to pay people, to pay anyone, anywhere, without having to, while protecting your identity and your privacy. In fact, Mezu gives consumers the ability to pay anyone, anywhere in the world, with the ease, convenience, and total privacy of payments.
Mezu Money Time, brought to you by Mezu, the experience of cash. It's simple and easy to use. Give money by creating a give code. Get money by entering it into your get screen. No questions, no gimmicks, no names, just numbers.
So you can see Mezu is private, uses a code to exchange the value between two people, does it very simply and easily, and it's both private, it's portable, it's multimodal, meaning there's multiple ways of giving and getting money. It does everything that Venmo and Cash do, but a whole lot more. In fact, we have 300,000 installs. The app has been out for about 10 months, over 170,000 activations, and over 30,000 monthly active users. We have a global partnership with MasterCard, meaning we're about to launch a Mezu MasterCard debit card. And our aim is to become really the indispensable money app, the app that allows you to do everything you want to do in payments, but do so in a private way. We've raised over $10 million in our first round, and we're looking for another round. We're raising another $6 million. So we have a table here, and if you would like to talk to us about our plans for delivering the global indispensable money app to the world, one that will actually protect your privacy, not give all your information out, please come and see us.
Okay. Thank you so much. Up next to the stage, please welcome Kobe from Edra.
Hi everyone, I'm Kobe Friedman. I'm the founder and CEO of Edra. Supply chain security and cyber attacks on companies' vendors became one of the fourth major concerns in cyber industry nowadays. However, when security teams trying to deal with the problem, they need a whole new skill set and tools in order to do it properly and at scale. This is creating a major trust friction on global economy that will increase over time. Edra is providing trust to connected supply chains, and we do that by automating and redesigning third-party security, risk, and compliance process to be scalable. Every company in the world already and in the near future will need to assess, understand, measure, and demonstrate their security and privacy posture to their customers. However, when trying to do that, you face a tedious, completely manual, labor-intensive, and knowledge-driven process, actually a multi-billion-dollar billable hour business that is based on consulting that is now suffering from a tremendous and rapidly growing capacity gap. So something needs to be changed here. Actually, the problem is reflected by the magnitude, and the and the size of problems that both sides, the vendors and the enterprise, are facing, we're trying to deal with the issue over time. When I was a startup owner in my previous company, we were serving financials, and it was actually, I needed to dedicate FTEs, full FTEs, in order to serve those questionnaires and compliance processes with banks. So it needs to be changed. So we need automation in order to scale. Our technology is called verified compliance. It's about disintermediating the human factor from the compliance process. Everything we do is about augmenting AI and ML technologies into processes or steps in the process that basically are provided today by human being or manual labor. Whether it's around interviews, field inspections, evidence inspection, or control verification. Our product is the only zero-touch SaaS platform available today that aims to automate and orchestrate the entire vendor risk management lifecycle between connected parties, between enterprise and their vendors. We're planning to become the standard for vendor risk management and security posture management. We also, in order to scale, we designed our platform to be different also in the model. We are providing a zero-touch freemium subscription for our enterprise customers, enabling and encouraging them to scale by 20 the amount of vendors that they can assess every year, from 5% to about 100%, and then reaching out to the vendors, helping them to understand what are the problems, and converting them online based on several conversion points that we are creating. A bit about the company. We started about 18 months ago. I founded the companies along with two co-founders. I'm a serial entrepreneur. It's my fourth company already. Two of them were acquired. One of them is already is kicking as we speak, and this is my fourth company. We have dozens of enterprise clients, about 30,000 vendors on the platform since going to market about 8 months ago. We're supporting about 15 security, data protection, and privacy frameworks, as well as the unique ability to observe your own compliance framework into our system. We announced a few strategic partnerships with law firms in the States, as well as with BDO globally to provide managed service in 160 countries and growing rapidly. Lately, we were announced as Gartner Cool Vendor, as well as the finalist in the security startup competition in Israel. We are here to look for more clients, so if you're interested in kicking your VRM program easy and at scale, please talk to me outside. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kobe, for the presentation. Up next, we have Robert from Zest Finance, so please welcome him to the stage.
Hi, everybody. My name is Robert Carlson. I'm head of business development at Zest Finance. Happy to be with you today. So a little bit on us. We were founded in 2009. Our CEO, founder Douglas Merrill, was the first CIO VP of engineering at Google. And he left believing that he could take the machine learning used in ad targeting and apply it to the credit underwriting space. So we actually started as a direct-to-consumer lender before switching to B2B. And our most recent client is Discover Financial, although we've had a lot of great customers that we've worked with in the past. So why work with us? Well, it turns out machine learning really works. So we work with lenders often, and on average, 15% of an increase we can apply to their approval rate with no added risk. On average, we can decrease their charge-off rate by 30% with no changes to approval rate. And then there are some really great use cases like $800 million credit expansion for a credit card issuer. So why aren't more companies using machine learning? Well, there are a few reasons right up here. The biggest one, and you probably heard of it if you follow artificial intelligence, is the black box nature of machine learning. So that means, to a very granular level, a company can't say why a machine learning model reached the decision that it did. And for finance, that's on an applicant. And it turns out that If you can't do that, you can't conform with a number of regulations, including Fair Credit Reporting Act, Equal Credit Opportunity Act, and that's exactly what we help companies do. So if you can do that, you turn in some great use cases. So this is our work with a lender who opened a new digital channel, and between 2014 and 2017, because the applicant pool on the digital channel is different from their traditional applicant pool, their loss rates doubled. And so we came in, we collaborated, they're using our technology, and they cut their loss rate in half. And for a lender of this size, it's $80 million a year. Another great use case for machine learning is it uses a lot more data. So we're working with lenders who are using 20 to 40 variables usually to underwrite somebody, whether it's a person, whether it's a business, whatever their use case is. And so this is an example of working with an auto lender where we increase the approval rate on thin file credit applicants, the applicants who don't have an extensive credit file, by 400% with no changes to risk. And for first-time borrowers under the age of 25, we increased that approval rate by 60%. So these are pretty great use cases, and we're really proud of our work. And you may think it's really complicated. It's actually, I'd say, think of our technology as a risk score. For a lender, it feeds into their existing IT infrastructure. So it applies on-prem, in the cloud, however your IT is implemented. And then for lenders, we plug into loan origination systems pretty easily. In fact, we have partnerships with a few of them. We started out, as I said, direct to consumer, and we have a lot of experience in unsecured consumer lending, but we've moved into collateralized, we've done auto work, we've done work in mortgage, telecoms, insurance. It turns out a lot of different companies need to be able to explain their machine learning models, and we help you do it. That's the core of our technology. So if you have a particular use case, if you want to talk to me afterwards, please come up and say hi. Thank you.
Thank you, Robert, for the presentation. We've approached our last presentation of our Spring Summit 2019. So with the warm welcome, please give it up for Anand from Tala Security.
So imagine one of your customers logging into your website. Maybe he wants to check his financial account, or maybe she wants to purchase something on an online store. But unbeknownst to you, your website has been hacked, all right? And all the information that customer is entering on the browser, username, password, credit card, all of that is getting stolen right off of the browser. What would this do to your business and your customers, and most importantly, the trust that you have worked so hard to establish? I'm Anand, founder and CEO of Tala. Tala has built the world's most advanced solution for protecting enterprise websites and web applications. The first question is, why should you really care? It turns out, in the last few months, we have seen a parade of breaches, large-scale breaches from companies like British Airways, Ticketmaster, where they've lost hundreds of thousands of user credentials and credit card data. In fact, this has become such a pandemic that we're seeing a breach announced almost on a weekly basis. Just yesterday, we learned that the Forbes magazine website was breached. Symantec estimates that about 5,000 websites are getting hacked every month, right? The problem is none of the existing web security technologies can actually stop or even detect this problem. You're probably wondering why these attacks are happening in the first place. Why are they successful? It turns out that modern websites are very complex. Your website integrates a ton of third parties, ad libraries, performance monitoring tools, chatbots. We learned a lot about chatbots today. These all have expanded the attack surface. The average website could have 3 to 4 dozen third parties, and they're all sources of attack. The second big change is that the modern web runs on JavaScript, which is a fact that is lost on security companies. They're still looking at what's happening on the server. They're not looking at what's happening on the browser. So this is a fundamental architectural change which impacts security, obviously. And in fact, before I get into what we do, you're probably wondering, why could they not steal my credit card, physical credit card? Attackers used to do that. They used to get into point-of-sale systems, install malware, and try to steal that information. What happened is because credit cards now integrate smart chips, that is not as lucrative. So that if you look at the dark web today, the value of your online credit card information has gone up 3x in the last few months. So hackers used to go after physical credit cards, right, are now going after online websites. And this is why we're seeing this attack. Thala solves 3 problems for you. Security, we help protect your mission-critical websites and web applications against the most advanced attacks. We ensure that your sensitive customer data, username, password, social security number, credit card, all of that doesn't end up in the wrong hands, which has compliance implications. And as a bonus, because we stop attacks like redirection attacks, we ensure that your websites aren't getting garbled with competitor ads or malicious ads. We end up actually increasing your revenue on the web. I founded Thala with my co-founders. We've done startups before successfully. We have multiple decades of cybersecurity experience. We are backed by the founders and CEOs of some very large security companies like Symantec, Palo Alto Networks. We just a few days ago closed our Series A. We are already working with some of the largest financial, e-commerce, healthcare, airlines, and technology companies. What we're really looking for is 2 things. One is go talk to your security teams and ask them if they know how to solve this problem. If not, come talk to us. We're looking for customers and partners, and we'll be around. Talk to us. My name is Anand again, and Brad is in the audience. Have a good rest of the day, and thanks, Plug and Play, for this.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for the presentation. Before bringing Max back to the stage, I would like to thank all of the entrepreneurs and startups that actually flew in from all around the world to join this amazing event. So give a warm applause for all of our amazing startups. And also, we will be having a networking event upstairs right after this event is over. Of course, I remind you to vote for your favorite startup. We'll be giving out the Public Choice Award in around 10 minutes. So if you still haven't voted, please scan the QR code on the back of your name tag to vote for your favorite startup. And that being said, let's welcome Max Koenig back to the stage.
Hello. Thank you, everybody, for attending. This is a special kind of moment that we do at the end of every expo. We like to call up and highlight 2 specific corporations that have really gone all in on this class. We're our first Corporate Innovation Award winner. I would love to present the opportunity to invite Charles and Chris from the Citizens Bank team up on the stage. Really, we've been working with the digital team and Charles and Chris, as well as Lamont, their head of digital, over the past year. They've kind of went all in once 2019 hit. Reviewing roughly 100 startups with us just this year alone. They have 6 POCs with us in the works, 3 with regards to fintech applications, 3 cybersecurity companies. They have a short presentation that they'd like to give, but I'd like to present this award. We love you guys. You guys are awesome. Ex-consultant, ex-startup founder, so you guys really resonate with the startup founders, kind of understand their journey, a lot of the hoops and hurdles that they have to go through. So quick round of applause for Charles and Chris here. Thank you. Take a little picture of these folks here. Awesome. Thank you, Max. Floor is yours. Oh, you guys got one. Awesome. Good.
Hey, thank you, Max. Are we live on this one? We are. Excellent. So, Citizens Bank is an institution I generally have to introduce out in these parts. I sometimes start by saying, Union Bank? It's like, yeah, I do. Yeah, we're bigger. That's how I usually start a conversation out here. But I think if we were to take a step back and just say, well, who is Citizens? If you hit that page there. We are about the 11th largest retail bank in the United States. We're a consumer bank. We're a commercial bank. We're also a very old one. We go back to the 19th century and well back to the 19th century. And we've been expanding into the Midwest, down in the Mid-Atlantic, all throughout New England in our retail footprint. But we also have a student lending organization that does in-school loans and has done a lot of innovation around education refinance. You're working in an interesting place. One of your biggest competitors is SoFi. And you're also working in an interesting place when quarter over quarter your earnings are growing. We used to be part of a very large institution. It was at the time the largest bank in the world, Royal Bank of Scotland. We're not anymore. We're our own bank, and every quarter as an independent institution since we went IPO 5 years ago, our earnings have grown. So we feel pretty good about what we've managed to achieve, but what we feel like we need to do in the future is grow a lot more. And what we need to do in the future is also grow with our customers. So we're busy re-platforming our digital platform. And so this means a lot of things for us. DevSecOps, it means modern coding languages, it means working with modern partners, it means working in a more truly agile way. We're not just expanding the number of agile teams, but we're taking into the agile ring fence, everyone from legal, risk, compliance, to middleware and API development, to the designers, all of whom lived outside of our agile framework before last year. So we're doing a lot. And by doing all these things, we're also in a better position to work with any of the startups. So that when a startup says, hey, we could just write to your APIs, our response isn't, hey, could you write those APIs for us and then write to them? But rather, it would be great. You know what? We work with Angular, we work with React, we work with a set of process and system APIs, and if you need to work with us, we're going to find a way to be able to do it. So our ability to work with the kinds of great companies that Plug and Play brings through has strengthened, and it's going to get stronger over time. So we believe we're already a great partner, but we believe we may end up being truly the easiest bank to work with in the US. That's an ambition, but we think we're getting there. If you turn to the next page. So if you're wondering, okay, great, I want to work with you. I hear you're easy to work with. This is going to be great. Where do you want to work? We have a number of areas that we're actually digging into. Insight and analytics, and information, and financial account lookup. Anything where you're doing consumer lending, where you're doing consumer deposits, commercial lending, commercial deposits, in footprint in our area, but also nationally, just like our student lending business is national, just like our merchant point-of-sale business is national. If you walk into an Apple store anywhere in the United States and buy an iPhone in the 24-month plan, you're borrowing the money from us. And we think it's a great experience. If it wasn't a great experience, I don't think we'd be let in the Apple store. So I think that's a testament to the kind of thing that we can do. So I just want to give you a sense of citizens, give you a sense of how we're becoming easier to work with, give you a sense of the kinds of things that we want to work on with you. And just big shout out to Plug and Play and to the team at Plug and Play. Been an amazing team. And Charles is going to talk a little bit about our relationship.
Awesome. Thank you, everyone. And I just want to give a quick shout out to all the startups. Excellent job today. You guys do a lot of great stuff. We count Saeed, Amiti, and the Plug and Play team as amazing partners. They've been soundboard partners. They've been friends, they've been coaches, and they've really helped us really think through the innovation journey. They've also provided invaluable color on how the Silicon Valley dynamism and innovation culture can be brought back to the corporate environment. And I think that's extremely important as we think about how we resonate both internally but also to our customers. And this vision has really brought down an amazing partnership. We've done some outstanding things together. And I want to definitely make a point of recognizing some of the outstanding staff at Plug and Play. Max, Chris, RJ, you guys have been amazing. Matt, Davis, Nadine, Nate, and Pierre, great job, guys. You guys have done an outstanding job working with us on a day-to-day. And if you look at it from the perspective of being a centuries-old bank, right? On behalf of the 18,000 colleagues that are committed as ever to their customers, to their shareholders, to their investors, and the colleagues, we're seeing the benefit of seeing some of the best and brightest opportunities and startups coming out to date. So I think this is an outstanding opportunity for us to really work on these new opportunities together, and we're welcoming the startups to come to us and say, help us become better, but also we can help you grow for the future. With that being said, we appreciate the award. Thank you very much for the partnership, and we look forward to growing it and making it more prosperous. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. All right, next up, one of our newest partners, but before that, I want to pass the show over to my colleague and friend, Ali Larjani, to announce the next award. Quick round of applause for Ali, please.
Hello, everyone. Hopefully everyone's not too tired today. Thank you so much for taking the time and working with me. I wanted to... Oh, sorry. Hi, there we go. Too many mics in my hand. I wanted to just take the time and congratulate, a new partner of ours. They're very engaged, they're very strong, and one of the main things with a new partner is hitting self-imposed milestones. And that's hard to do, especially when you just join and you're just creating an innovation platform. So for someone to actually go through and commit to setting themselves up with proof of concepts, commit to actually implementing startup applications, that's a difficult thing. So with that being said, I'd love to introduce to the stage, if we go to the next slide, William Blair. Thank you so much.
Is this? Perfect. Okay, perfect.
Thank you, Ali and Max. First, I want to say it's an honor to accept this award on behalf of William Blair Investment Management. As Ali mentioned, our partnership with Plug and Play started recently in January of this year, and we've hit the ground running. We recently asked our colleagues in an internal town hall gathering to imagine the possibilities technology can have on your daily work and how this can translate into meaningful impact to our clients. The partnership with Plug and Play allows us to realize some of these possibilities, including meeting, networking with, and engaging with startups. It also drives and reinforces a culture of development and innovation by enabling us to not only explore, but implement technology solutions rapidly through proof of concepts and pilots. We believe this is key to improving our decision-making as well as accelerating growth. Thank you, Ali, Max, and the entire Plug and Play team for this amazing award. We've had an incredible start to what we hope is an enduring partnership. At this time, I'm going to turn it over to my boss, Stephanie Braming, partner and global head of William Blair Investment Management.
Thanks, Christina. I also would like to echo your comments and thank Max and Ali and the entire Plug and Play crew and our initial round of partner companies from a startup perspective. I'd like to give you more insight into how we think about this Plug and Play partnership and these partnerships with startups and helping us achieve our mission and our vision. The world is characterized by 24/7 news cycle, accelerating data, and short-termism by investors as well as individuals alike. But William Blair is a nearly 85-year company, and our sights are focused on the horizon. Our vision is to be the premier global boutique. And as IPE notes, we're one of the top 60 only active asset managers in the world, with nearly $55 billion in assets invested globally. About 2/3 of our investments are outside the US, on behalf of a global client base, and millions of retirement plan participants and retirees, as well as a number of nonprofits, where our goal is to help them achieve their missions through driving strong investment results. And while active investment management is under attack in terms of not being able to deliver its promise of strong results, 94% of our strategies have outperformed since inception. That's a proof statement of who we are as a firm and our ability to deliver on our mission. But as far as I'm concerned, if we are to be the premier global boutique of the future, we must continue to challenge the status quo. From what may have driven our success in the past may not be what propels us together in the future. How do we view the plug-and-play partnership? I'm encouraging our teams to ask key questions. How do we improve our insights? How do we improve our decision-making? How do we connect with our clients more effectively? And how do we disrupt ourselves before others disrupt us? And that's where that plug-and-play and startup partnership comes in. We're looking to innovate with these individuals that have diverse backgrounds, diverse experiences that are different from us in helping us achieve our results. How are we doing that? Well, the questions I'm asking are, how do we improve our insights from an investment perspective? How do we enhance our decision-making through additional data analytics or new data sources that will give us more conviction in our investment insights and allow us to deliver results? How can we proactively connect with clients and prospects? We have a lot of data on our clients, but how do we assess their behaviors and what they're thinking and help them achieve their objectives more effectively? And how do we untrap the intellectual capital that we have and deliver it to our clients? Importantly, we see this partnership as helping us increase the speed and pace of innovation within our firm and broaden our peripheral vision. We're specialists as investors. We're very focused on countries and sectors and industries. But with that specialization becomes blind spots. And so my charge to our investment teams is to connect in the white space across sectors and industries and asset classes. And as Shane Parrish says in his upcoming book, Mental Models, the specialization and that specific lens that you focus on, whether you're an engineer, your systems focus, or a psychologist focusing on incentives, or a biologist focusing on evolution, that lens provides blind spots. And so having plug and play in the startups deliver on our goal of improving the lattice work of decision making is key for us in the future. And then finally, if we execute on all of these, will help us accelerate our growth. All of these concepts are really interesting and important thought experiments. But at the end of the day, it's about scalable, repeatable insights to improve our decision making. And that's a measure of success, as well as measurable differentiation and client engagement that will help us accelerate growth. The way that we think about partnering with our startups is developing technology and IP to help us answer those key questions. It's helping us measure those results and investing together as partners in the future. Thank you.
Okay, everyone. That concludes the award ceremony for the FinTech Partner Award for our cybersecurity partners tonight, but we are giving an award to the Startup Pitch winner. We are very excited to announce this year's winner, who's also won Energy's Expo Pitch. If everyone could put their hands together and welcome Tal from Resec Technologies.
All right. Let's get a picture here. Oh, yeah, get right. All right, congratulations, Tal. I don't think anybody makes more round trips from Tel Aviv, but hey, we appreciate you, buddy. You're the best. He's got a venture fund too, so if you are a startup and raising, definitely talk to that man. One of the most successful entrepreneurs we've had a chance to work with. That concludes Batch 9 Expo for today. Thank you all for coming. Second floor, there's a bar open. Yes, it's 2 p.m. Pacific. It is 5 o'clock Eastern. More than happy, go up there, open bar, tons of food, lots of energy. There's a DJ, so we try and make it fun for all you guys. Stay as long as you want. And then if you guys were looking to head out for dinner afterward, grab one of our plug and play guys. Feel free to go upstairs. If I can invite the plug and play staff to come up here, take a team photo. The team is growing almost batch after batch. I was the 4th member of our team here. We got about 50 folks globally. The folks that sit here in this office, there's about 25, 26. So hats off to all them. They're the ones that make it happen. I'm the guy that just somehow puts it together. So we appreciate all you guys coming in. Floor is yours. Turn on the music, drink up, have fun. Bye.
Thank you.